You're going to wake up tomorrow and not feel like doing it. Whatever it is for you, going to the gym, working on your business, studying, writing, creating, you won't feel like it. And if you're waiting for motivation to show up and save you, you've already lost. Let me tell you something nobody wants to hear. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unreliable. They come and go like weather. Some days you wake up ready to conquer the world. Other days, you can barely get out of bed. That's normal. That's human. But here's the problem. Most people build their entire life strategy around waiting for the good weather. They say things like, I'll start when I feel ready, or I need to get motivated first, or I'm just not feeling it today. And you know what happens? Years pass. Dreams stay dreams. Goals remain untouched because they're waiting for a feeling that doesn't owe them anything. Think about it. How many times have you felt motivated to do something at night, to wake up early, to eat healthy, to finally start that project, and then morning comes and all that motivation is gone? It evaporated, like it was never there. That's because motivation is an emotion. It's temporary. It's conditional. It depends on your mood, your energy, your circumstances, what you ate, how you slept, what someone said to you, what you saw online. You can't build a life on something that unstable. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't care how you feel. Discipline is doing it anyway. Discipline is showing up when you don't want to. Discipline is understanding that your feelings are irrelevant to your commitments. Here's a simple truth. Motivated people start things. Disciplined people finish them. Motivation gets you to sign up for the gym. Discipline gets you there on the days you'd rather stay in bed. Motivation makes you buy the book. Discipline makes you read it. Motivation sparks the idea. Discipline builds the business. You see the difference? Motivation is the match. Discipline is the fuel that keeps the fire burning long after the initial spark is gone. Most people get this completely backwards. They think successful people are just more motivated than everyone else, that they wake up excited every single day, that they love what they do so much, it doesn't even feel like work. That's a fantasy. Successful people have bad days too. They feel tired. They feel unmotivated. They question themselves. They want to quit. The difference is, they don't let those feelings make their decisions. Here's what people usually get wrong. They wait to feel like doing something before they do it. But that's not how discipline works. Discipline means doing it especially when you don't feel like it. That's the entire point. They think discipline means being hard on yourself. It doesn't. Discipline means being honest with yourself about what matters and then acting accordingly, regardless of how you feel in the moment. They believe that if something is hard or uncomfortable, they're doing it wrong. No. If something is hard or uncomfortable, you're probably doing exactly what you need to do to grow. They confuse motivation with purpose. Motivation fades, purpose doesn't. If you have a clear reason why you're doing something, a real reason, not just a surface-level wish, you don't need to feel motivated. You just need to remember why it matters. Let me give you a real example. You want to get in shape. Day one, you're motivated. You wake up early, you go to the gym, you feel amazing. Day two, still good. Day three, you're sore, but you push through. Day four, you're tired. Day five, it's raining. Day six, you had a long day at work. Day seven, you just don't feel like it. This is where most people quit, because they're waiting for that day one feeling to come back. They're waiting to feel motivated again. But disciplined people, they go anyway. Not because they feel like it, but because they committed to it. Because they understand that feelings are temporary, but results come from consistency. Here's what you should understand instead. Motivation is a bonus, not a requirement. If it shows up, great. If it doesn't, irrelevant. You do the work regardless. Discipline is a skill, not a personality trait. Nobody is born disciplined, it's built. Every time you do something you don't feel like doing, you're strengthening that skill. Your feelings are information, not instructions. They tell you how you feel. They don't tell you what to do. You decide that. The hard days are the important days. Anyone can show up when they feel good. Showing up when you feel terrible. That's what separates people who achieve their goals from people who just talk about them. Consistency beats intensity every single time. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to go all in every day. You just need to show up. Small, consistent actions over time create massive results, but only if you show up on the days you don't want to. This matters more than you think, because the quality of your life is determined by what you do consistently, not what you do occasionally. Your relationships, They don't survive on the days you feel loving. They survive because you choose to be present, to communicate, to show up, even on the days you're tired, frustrated, or distracted. Your health? It's not built in the gym sessions you're excited about. It's built in the ones you drag yourself to when every part of you wants to skip it. Your career? It's not the work you do when you're inspired. It's the work you do when you're not, when it's boring, when it's repetitive, when nobody's watching. Your growth? It doesn't happen when you feel motivated to change. It happens when you make a decision to change and then follow through, day after day, even when the excitement wears off. See, motivation tricks you into thinking you're special. It makes you feel like you're the chosen one, like success will be easy for you because you feel so ready. Discipline reminds you that you're ordinary, and that's okay. Because ordinary people who show up every day become extraordinary over time. Let me be clear about something. This isn't about being miserable. This isn't about grinding yourself into the ground or ignoring your needs. Discipline doesn't mean punishing yourself. It means respecting yourself enough to keep your commitments. To yourself, first and foremost. It means understanding that future you is counting on present you to do what needs to be done. It means recognizing that every time you give in to how you feel in the moment, you're choosing short-term comfort over long-term fulfillment. And here's the brutal truth. Nobody is coming to motivate you. Nobody's going to force you to be better. Nobody cares about your goals as much as you do, or at least as much as you should. Your parents won't do it for you. Your friends won't do it for you. Your partner won't do it for you. Motivational videos won't do it for you. Not even this one. At some point, you have to decide that you're going to do it regardless. Regardless of how you feel. Regardless of who supports you. Regardless of whether it's hard. Because here's what happens when you rely on motivation. You start strong and fade fast. You make big promises and break them. You set goals and forget them. You tell people what you're going to do and then quietly stop doing it, hoping nobody notices. You become inconsistent, unreliable, not to others, to yourself. And that's the worst part. When you can't trust yourself to follow through, everything gets harder. Because deep down, you know you're going to quit. You've done it before. Why would this time be different? But when you build discipline, you start trusting yourself again, you make a commitment and you keep it. Not because it's easy, but because you said you would. You prove to yourself that you're capable, that you can do hard things, that your feelings don't control you, you control them. You build momentum. One disciplined action leads to another, and another, until consistency becomes your identity. You stop needing external validation. You stop looking for permission. You stop waiting for the perfect moment, because you realize you are the moment. This changes everything. Your confidence isn't based on how you feel anymore. It's based on what you've done, on the evidence you've created through your actions. Your self-respect grows because you're living in alignment with your values, not your moods. Your results improve because you're no longer stopping and starting. You're just going, steadily, consistently, inevitably. And people notice, not because you're talking about what you're going to do, but because they can see what you've already done. Here's something else. Discipline protects you from regret. You know that feeling when you look back and think, I should have stuck with it. That doesn't happen when you're disciplined. Because even if something doesn't work out, you know you gave it everything. You showed up. You did the work. But when you rely on motivation and it runs out, you live with the question, what if I had just kept going? That question haunts people. For years, for decades. Don't let that be you. So here's what you need to know. Motivation will fail you. It will disappear exactly when you need it most. And if you're waiting for it to come back before you take action, you're giving away your power. Discipline won't fail you. Because discipline isn't a feeling, it's a decision. A decision you make every single day in the small moments nobody sees to do what you said you would do. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Stop waiting to feel anything. Just start and then keep going. On the good days and the bad days, when it's easy and when it's hard, when people are watching and when they're not. Do it when you're tired. Do it when you're scared. Do it when you don't see results yet. Do it when it feels pointless. Do it because you committed to it, because it matters, because future you is depending on it. That's discipline. And discipline over time builds the kind of life motivation could never create. It builds the body you want, the career you want, the relationships you want, the person you want to become. Not because you felt like it every day, but because you chose it every day. So stop chasing feelings. Start building systems. Stop waiting for inspiration. Start showing up. Because at the end of your life, you won't remember the days you felt motivated. You'll remember the days you did it anyway. Let me tell you what discipline actually looks like in real life. Because I think people have this idea that disciplined people are robots, that they don't struggle, that everything is easy for them. That's not true. Disciplined people struggle just as much as everyone else. They just don't let the struggle stop them. They wake up tired and go to the gym anyway. They feel uninspired and write anyway. They doubt themselves and take the risk anyway. They want to quit and keep going anyway. The difference isn't in what they feel, it's in what they do despite what they feel. And here's the thing nobody tells you. It doesn't get easier. You just get stronger. The alarm still feels early. The work still feels hard. The doubt still creeps in. But you build a tolerance for discomfort. You build the ability to act even when everything in you wants to retreat. That's real strength. Not the absence of weakness, but the decision to move forward in spite of it. Now let me address something important. Discipline without direction is just suffering. You can't just grind for the sake of grinding. You need to know why you're doing this. What's the point? What are you building toward? Because if you're disciplined about the wrong things, you're just wasting your time in an organized way. So before you commit to discipline, commit to clarity. Know what you want, know why it matters, know what you're willing to sacrifice to get it. Once you have that clarity, discipline becomes simpler, not easier, simpler. You're not waking up every day questioning whether this is worth it. You already decided it's worth it. Now you just have to do it. And here's a secret. Discipline creates motivation, not the other way around. You don't wait to feel motivated and then take action. You take action and then motivation follows. It's backwards from what most people think. When you show up and do the work, even when you don't feel like it, you start to feel proud of yourself. You start to see progress. You start to remember why you started in the first place. That creates motivation, real motivation. The kind that comes from evidence, not fantasy. But it only works if you start without it. If you take the first step when everything in you says not to. That first step is always the hardest because you're fighting against your feelings, your comfort, your old patterns. But here's what happens when you take it. The second step gets easier. The third step, easier still. Not because the task changed, but because you're changing. You're proving to yourself that you can. And that belief, that evidence-based belief, is more powerful than any motivational quote could ever be. Let's talk about failure for a second. Because discipline doesn't mean you never fail. It means you don't let failure stop you. You're going to miss days. You're going to mess up. You're going to fall short of your own standards. That's guaranteed. The question is, what do you do next? Most people use one failure as an excuse to quit entirely. They missed one gym session and suddenly they've fallen off track and lost all their progress. Disciplined people miss one gym session and go the next day. No drama, no spiral, no all or nothing thinking. They understand that perfection isn't the goal. Consistency is. And consistency doesn't mean never failing. It means getting back up every time you do. One missed day doesn't erase weeks of effort. One bad choice doesn't cancel out dozens of good ones, unless you let it. Discipline is also about forgiveness, forgiving yourself quickly and getting back to work. Because here's the truth. You don't have time to waste on guilt. Guilt is just another feeling that wants to control you. Don't give it that power. Acknowledge the mistake. Learn from it if there's something to learn. Then move on. The work is still there. Your goals are still there. Get back to it. This is what separates people who achieve long-term success from people who burn out. The ability to recover quickly from setbacks. Not to avoid setbacks, that's impossible, but to recover from them without losing momentum. Now let me tell you what happens when you choose discipline over motivation consistently for a long period of time. You become unstoppable. Not because nothing can stop you, but because you've trained yourself to keep going no matter what tries to. You develop a kind of quiet confidence that doesn't need validation. You know what you're capable of because you've already proven it to yourself, over and over, in private. You stop making excuses, not because you don't have reasons to quit. You do, everyone does. But you realize that reasons don't matter, results matter. You start to see yourself differently. You stop identifying as someone who tries things. You become someone who does things, and other people notice. They start asking you how you do it, how you stay consistent, How you keep going when things get hard. And the answer is simple, even if they don't want to hear it. You just decided that your feelings don't get to make your decisions anymore. That's it. That's the whole secret. You feel like quitting, and you don't quit. You feel like skipping, and you don't skip. You feel like making excuses, and you don't make them. You acknowledge how you feel, and then you do what needs to be done anyway. Over and over and over again, until it becomes who you are. Here's what I want you to understand. Your life right now is the sum of your habits, and your habits are the sum of your daily choices. If you want a different life, you need different habits. And if you want different habits, you need to make different choices. Every single day. Not when you feel like it. Every day. That's discipline. And the beautiful thing is, you already have everything you need to start. You don't need more information. You don't need a better plan. You don't need perfect circumstances. You just need to start today, right now. With whatever you have, wherever you are. Take one small action toward your goal. Just one. Don't wait until tomorrow. Don't wait until Monday. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start before you're ready. Start scared. Start imperfect. Just start. And then tomorrow start again. And the day after that. And the day after that. Not because you feel motivated, but because you decided this matters. Because you're building something bigger than a feeling. You're building a life. And life isn't built in moments of inspiration. It's built in moments of decision. The decision to show up. The decision to try. The decision to keep going. Make that decision. Make it now. Make it every day. And watch what happens when you stop waiting for motivation and start building discipline. You won't recognize yourself a year from now. And that's exactly the point.